Good morning, podcasters. Welcome back to Going On Daily Live. I'm your host, Becky, here with Captain Ron. Good morning, sir.
I feel like we've just done this.
We have just done this yesterday.
Yeah, we're back again today.
We're back again. It's nice to see you again. This is good because then we can finish the movies that
Absolutely, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, because some of these are really good ones.
So they were good. I was like blown away by some of those. Yeah. Blown away.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Hugo is here already. Happy spring. Is it spring today? Yeah, I guess. Or tomorrow?
I think part of today is spring. Tomorrow's the first
official day. Okay. Well, there's a lot of snow where I am. Not spring. You know what? It was spring when I left for Vegas. Nice. When I came back from Vegas. That guy. Yes.
That guy behind Becky. It does look like you're actually with them, to be honest with you.
I should make myself black and white. That would be awesome. And then I would look the exact same. I don't know how to do that though, unfortunately.
I was just watching some of the videos from them. And I'm actually glad you're doing John Lennon today. A fun fact kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's a weirdo.
She's very artistic.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Artsy people tend to be a little odd.
You know, hey, look though, there is somebody for everyone, right? And
clearly.
They stayed together the whole time.
Yeah, they did.
Until
his sad demise. I know. Terrible.
It still pisses me off, to be honest with you, for no other word that fits that description.
Yeah, it was just a crazed fan. I know, it's not right.
What a waste.
I know, what a waste. He was just such a awesome musician, great artist, kind person.
Yep.
But anyways, we'll get into that.
The best writing duo of all time.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into it. First, before we do, let's tell everyone how they can watch us. First up, Facebook. You can go to RI Broadcasting or type in Rhode Island Broadcasting to find us there. And you can support the show with stars, only a penny each. You can definitely do that there. You can follow us and watch us live also on Facebook. You can also watch us live on YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting. Subscribe over there. And finally, on Twitch, you can watch us live at RI_broadcasting. And over there, you can support the show with bits, which are also a penny. So
that's right.
You might as well do that. Finally,
toss us a couple.
Why not? Patreon. You can get some swag from the show at RI Broadcasting. That is our Patreon. It is not just our show. I believe there are other shows on your Patreon as well.
Yes, Sports Unfolded and Falls Count Anywhere are on it.
Exactly. So you can get all of access to all of those things behind the scenes on Patreon. So let's dive into it today. Oh, I'm starting as well. Okay, let me get prepared here. Alberta woman charged. Now, I am from Alberta. For my American friends who don't really know geography, Alberta is a province, which is like a state. So you live in Rhode Island, I live in Alberta. You live in a city in Rhode Island, I live in a city in Alberta. Okay, just to get that clear. So this woman is from a place called Carstairs. And I know it's weird. It's just near Calgary. So Calgary's a big city. Carstairs is a little bit further than a suburb, but pretty close. It's rural, small little town. You don't expect much happening in Carstairs, Alberta. Well, a lady, the 51st state, get out of here. A lady named Audra Lynn Symbolisti has offered to pay $5,000 for a contract killer to murder her husband of 18 years. However, the contract killer is an undercover officer.
Oh, Jesus, what an idiot.
Okay, well,
You might as well just post it on Facebook.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm looking for someone to murder my husband. It's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God. That's funny.
I know. So it says that she was just sentenced on Monday to 5 years in prison, Canada, where you get away with murder, literally. 5 years
5
in
years
prison.
for stupidity.
Well, I mean, it was attempted murder, though, is it not?
It is it's
It
not
shouldn't go
attempted murder, it's a oh God, it's not
intent or
planned.
whatever.
It's murder
Conspiracy.
conspiracy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's only
Conspiracy
5
to
years.
commit murder. Yeah.
Dang. Well, it says that she tried to have him murdered last February. I'm actually shocked that this was not in the news leading up to this. But yeah, she finally went to court and was sentenced to 5 years. She tried to kill her husband of, what did it say, 18 years? Like, what did this guy do? That's what I want to know.
Well, that's just it. It's like there's first first of all, for money.
I
Second
suppose if he
would
has an insurance
be,
policy.
for cheating.
That's fair. But I mean, if he cheats, you kill him yourself.
One way or the other.
Yes.
And then the other reason would be because of abuse.
Well, I suppose you're right. And maybe they'll find that, if that comes up. Obviously, cheating, they don't allow you to kill someone for cheating on you.
No.
But if there is abuse, they may go easier on her. Good luck proving it, though, if you didn't have, a bunch of records
the thing.
of
You have
it.
to be able to prove it.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
He didn't like John Lennon. That's why she was going to put a hit on him. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Everyone liked John Lennon. There's no way.
Yeah, how do you not?
Yeah. So, according to the statement of facts agreed by the Crown and the defense, in February of 2024, this woman offered to pay $5,000 to an undercover officer posing as a contract killer. It doesn't say where they met. I want to know, was it, well, Craigslist? We don't really use Craigslist a lot up here, but
Is that
I feel
even
like
a thing anymore?
I don't know. I feel like that's the place to find a killer, though. It says she deliberately encouraged and or actively inducted or advocated for this undercover officer to murder the victim. She did this by repeatedly asking or earnestly asking for or seeking or inviting or making a request of the officer to murder the victim, urging him to murder him, and or instigating the victim's murder or persuading the officer to murder the victim. So, I mean, that's a kind of an odd statement, but I guess she met this guy and was like, come on, just do it. You have to just kill my husband. Come on. So I don't know if they were in like a secret relationship as well. Or
this is what happens when stores go out of business. We lost Killers R Us. So
really, I know. Now we just have Amazon
have to go
killers
somewhere.
Yep. Exactly. So I guess because of this case, there's a publication ban, and it will not tell us who the undercover officer was, which is probably, I don't know, I guess that's for the best. I mean, maybe she's got people that
because then he wouldn't go undercover anymore.
Oh, you're right. Oh, here it is. She purchased a life insurance policy in 2021 that would have paid her $475,000 in the event of her husband's death. Really, like, $500,000 isn't really enough to kill someone over. $500,000 is not really enough. The court had also heard that her husband had made several cruel comments about the death of that lady's daughter prior to the offense. So interesting. I guess her daughter had died. Maybe
so
she
basically
killed herself,
he's a jacket.
She had a drug. Yeah, most people are.
Yeah.
We don't kill them.
Get over it.
We divorce them.
Yes.
And we move on when we're married to a jackass. Oh dear. It does say that this crime required a high degree of planning and was not spur of the moment. You would think that would get her more years in jail, but it did not. It says that the defendant, I don't even know how to say it, Symbolisti, is completely flabbergasted that she would have done this. I can't believe I did this. I can't believe it. Oh, really? Because you did.
Yeah. See, if you want to
Put
get
on a show.
even, if you want to get even with them, all you have to do is just sleep with all of his friends.
Yeah,
So,
right. I mean, yeah, there's just a case of STDs, like no big deal.
well, I'm just saying. I mean, you can use protection, but
Mhm.
but if you wanna get even with someone, you know,
Right.
that you're married to, you just
For
sleep with
sure.
their friends.
You go spend all his money, you
Yeah.
embarrass him publicly. I agree. It says before sentencing, she told the court, I did something I never thought I would do. I wish I could go back in time and I'm very remorseful. Of course, because you got caught.
Yeah. That's the only reason.
Obviously. If you hadn't got caught and you had $475,000, I think you wouldn't have been saying these things. I always wonder though, like if you kill someone intentionally, doesn't it haunt you for the rest of your life? It must.
I don't know.
I guess if you're not a psychopath.
Well, look, I don't think I'd get caught. I don't think I'd get caught.
I mean, that's creepy, but why? Tell me
I'm
why.
just saying. You
Tell me
know, I
why.
mean, look, you got to take all precautions. You can't leave behind evidence. You can't do it.
No, fair. I do feel like I watch enough Dateline to know what not to do. However, don't kill people, you guys.
No,
Very,
no.
this is a very good lesson to know here. We don't kill people when we're mad at them. We just
Yeah.
embarrass them publicly and sleep with their
The
friends.
the first mistake is like they don't do it right.
Now, I wonder.
First of all, you can't leave a body behind.
You can't leave a body
You
behind.
can't
You
do
can't
it.
leave your fingerprints. You can't have
No.
your face on CCTV. This is just it. It's impossible to kill someone these days because there's cameras everywhere. They're going to see you somewhere. Back in the day, easy. No DNA, no cameras, easy to kill someone. Today, no.
It's not easy. No, it isn't. Like you have to be aware of all of that aspect.
Mhm.
So you can't really do it anywhere in a city because I mean there's cameras literally everywhere.
Literally.
And suburbs, you got to worry about those doorbells, the
Mhm.
ring and stuff like that. And
Exactly.
I mean, your best bet is out in the boonies somewhere.
Plus,
That's
you have
the
your
only
cell
thing.
phone that tracks you all the time. Like
Yeah,
it's, all
yeah,
these sort of more modern cases that I watch on like Dateline or whatever
yeah.
mysteries. It's
There's
all kind of the
always a
same
way.
thing. They always track them by their cell
Yep.
phone. There's always some sort of evidence. 99% of our lives are on camera. Yes, Hugo, you are right.
Yeah.
Which
No, that's
part
true.
of me, the conspiracy head in me is like, ugh, ugh, I don't want to be on camera all the time. But like the person who doesn't want to be murdered likes that there's a camera everywhere. So yeah,
Yeah.
drones, exactly. Exactly.
Like you literally have to go in the middle of nowhere. You can't bring any electronics with you.
Right. You have to have a
So
good alibi, someone who is willing to back you up
absolutely.
on this. Yeah, we were
Absolutely.
out for dinner. Someone
Especially if
someone
you're a
to dress up
spouse.
like you. You need someone to like have a mask of your face and you guys need to go out somewhere together.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, we
Yeah,
could do
no,
it.
I mean it's not there's always a way now for the cases to be solved.
There is. You're right. And I mean, I'm thankful for that. I mean, heaven forbid that ever happens to someone in our families. Obviously we want to bring that person to justice as soon as possible. So I'm thankful for this.
Yeah.
So, anyways, to finish up the story, it says that she was sentenced to 5 years, less the time she's already spent in custody, which was 576 days. So she only has 41 months left to serve.
That's
Man,
all.
that's easy. Man, she'll be 65. She'll be retirement time. Phew. if they don't take her off his insurance policy if he dies in that time. They're like, well,
Now, does it say if they get divorced?
they would have to. There's no way he's giving her another chance. No way. We can look this up again though.
I've
Car,
seen cases like that.
like, listen, what is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me
Right.
twice, shame on.
Yeah.
Okay, 21 hours ago. I'm looking for the most recent. Okay, this is a day ago from Airdrie, which is very close to there. Seeing if there's anything. Oh, she provided $1,000 down payment to the officer. Perfect. You need a deposit, obviously, to know you're serious. Is
Yeah,
it
you gotta have a
non-refundable?
deposit.
Maybe. Yeah. It doesn't say.
Usually it's half before, half now, and half after it's done.
Right.
Not that I
Exactly.
would know.
Not a deposit. That's right. You just watch a lot of shows. That's fine. Yeah, it's the undercover operation began following a tip to the RCMP, so the local police, that this woman had asked an individual to kill her husband. So she obviously asked someone she knew. He was like, absolutely not. Let's go tell the RCMP what's happening. It says that the Mounties, which are the RCMP, launched an investigation and soon introduced her to an officer posing as the contract killer. Okay, so I see how it works here. So then she
You can
met
send a
him.
hate mail to Hugo at
Yeah, right.
Some Women Are Crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You
that's
say
fair.
that.
Men are crazy too, though. Like, let's be fair. It says that she met the officer at a gas station in Carstairs, where she made it clear she wanted her husband dead, agreeing to pay for the job, then gave him the $1,000 a day after meeting him. Prosecutors believe financial motives were involved, obviously, knowing that she has that life insurance policy. The tension between the couple had been escalating since the death of this lady's adult daughter in 2022. So now this woman was arrested after her conversations with an acquaintance were reported to the police. She was initially charged with 2 counts of counseling to commit murder, later pleading guilty to a single charge. So
Jeez.
wild. You don't like, here's the thing. This is like everyday stuff in the States. This is like unheard of here. Okay. We especially in Carstairs, like that is wild to me.
I mean, it happens everywhere. We
It
just
does.
talked
You're
about
right.
this the other day, that these problems are literally everywhere. It's just
They
whether they're
they
on the
are.
news or not.
That's fair. You're right. It's just weird to hear about in our backyard.
Right.
But they're
And
freaks
of
everywhere.
course, you always get the stories with these psychos,
Mhm.
that are murdering all kinds of people. And it's like, oh,
Totally.
he's so quiet.
Yeah, he
He was
was
so
so
nice.
nice. I let him babysit my children. That's the one that gets me. Like, oh my gosh, he was a rapist, but he also was my kid's babysitter? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. Crazy.
Happens all the time.
Did he cause her daughter's death? No, I don't think so. It sounds like she had died. I mean, he made rude remarks about it. Maybe it was an OD, maybe it was a suicide. Either way, like not super kind or gracious to her, I guess, after it happened, that flipped her off. And I get it. I'm a mom. Like we protect our kids at
Yeah,
all costs, like not to murder, but like,
absolutely.
I don't know. Like I'm not mad enough at Andrew to throw peanuts into his meals, like because he's allergic. Like I'm not mad enough to do that ever, maybe just ignore him for a day.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's probably happened many times.
Yeah.
Knowing
Yeah.
the allergies of someone.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I didn't know there was
Oh,
peanuts in it.
oopsie. I actually
Whoops.
almost fed him peanuts once. I had made this latte out of chai tea, almond butter, and dates, and you blend it up and vanilla, and it's really good. It makes it really frothy. It's like a vegan version, for someone who can't have milk. So it was so good. He can have almonds, no problem. He tried it once before and thought it was decent. So I made it another time. And I'm like, here, try this. And he's like, I've already tried it. I don't want it. And I was like, Andrew, try it. Like getting mad at him. And he was like, I don't want it. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I drank it and it was good. And then I go to my fridge and I'm like, why is the peanut butter out? And then I realized that I'd used peanut butter instead of almond butter. And so I thank the Lord that he was very insistent that he was not having it because it would have killed him.
We would have been talking about you on the headlines.
Yeah, listen, and we don't have life insurance, so like,
Oh boy.
it would have just been gross negligence on my part.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough murder for a couple segments anyway. It'll come up again. Let's talk about the end of an era.
Yeah, so Lou Gramm, Foreigner.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, front man all those years. He just did a little appearance with Foreigner this past weekend, last Saturday at Clearwater.
Okay.
It was at it doesn't say where it was, but it was in Clearwater, and he sang a couple of songs with the band. He sang "I Want to Know What Love Is" and "Hot Blooded." Right.
I love Foreigner. Love it.
Foreigner is one of my favorite bands.
So good.
Now it's just a cover band.
Yeah, I know. My dad won tickets last summer from the radio station, and he chose not to go. And I was like, I want to go. And then he's like, it's not even the lead singer. Like, it's just
not any of them.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, yeah, you're right. But that being said, like Journey has it's not Steve Perry, it's a different guy. And it sounds really good. It sounds a lot like Journey. So
yeah, and that's fine. You know, it's more of a nostalgia thing. You go, you listen to their music, and you know, you feel good, right?
Yeah.
So I watched the video, and I had the same opinion as I had when he did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He's just not there.
He's just an old man now.
He can barely walk.
Oh,
he can't move. He just stands there stiff.
Let me look this up.
And it's tough to see because to me, at times it doesn't even seem like the mic is on.
Oh, no. Well, probably isn't. He probably sounds like a crusty old guy. He's probably like,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing pictures here. Yeah, he looks more like a meatloaf than Lou Gramm.
Yeah. So, you know, I felt really bad, but I also, it's great to see him, you know, and sing.
Fair.
Using the term lightly, by the way. I mean, Foreigner is one of my favorites, and Foreigner is in the middle of their farewell tour as well.
Okay.
So they will have their last concerts in October of this year.
But again, with Lou Gramm or not with Lou Gramm?
No, it is not. Yeah. He is not scheduled to be with them, and he actually
then
has turned them down to be on their farewell tour because he doesn't feel that it's Foreigner.
It's not,
because there's no original members, so he just thinks it's a cover band. And frankly, he turned them down because he wanted to sing certain songs, and the new lead singer Kelly Hansen refused to let him sing those songs.
What? He let him, or refuses to let him sing his own songs?
Yes. So
what
this
on
is
earth?
What he said. Where is it? Oh God, where the hell? Yeah, he said he would not continue with the farewell tour because of Kelly's ego.
Wow.
He won't let Gramm sing his favorites because Kelly wants to be the guy.
I mean, Kelly's no spring chicken either. I just looked him up. He's the same age as my dad. He's 64 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wild. And so that guy's trying to have his time to shine finally all these years later.
Yeah, but it's not.
Wow.
He's not.
Can you imagine the balls on this guy?
So now Lou Gramm is planning on retiring after his August 1st appearance with the Lou Gramm All-Stars at the Batavia Downs in New York.
Okay. That's like
So
a
August
horse
1st will
racer?
be his last appearance, and then he plans on retiring.
Hmm.
Probably a good thing, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, it's like I made this comment the other day between Brett Michaels and Vince Neil from
Hmm.
Motley Crue.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can see the difference between the two.
Hmm.
Like you compare Poison now and Motley Crue now to what they used to be. Vince Neil can't even make
Right.
words when he sings. I mean, he's terrible.
Right.
Well, Brett Michaels still has the voice. He
I
still
agree.
is
He still
capable.
looks decent as well.
He
Vince
looks
Neil is
pretty good,
rough.
you know?
Hmm.
And that
And
makes a world of a difference. I could
he's
never
born
pay
in
to go see.
61 as well.
I can't pay to see somebody be a shell of themselves.
Hmm.
I
It's
can't.
interesting because Brett Michaels and Vince Neil are only 2 years apart, but
Yeah.
it's so weird that one is like doing well and the other one is like
Yeah.
struggling.
Well, Motley Crue's playing in all kinds of concerts, but I don't understand why people are paying to see it because you can't even. He doesn't even know the words to his own songs.
Drugs, man.
Oh, it's
Drugs.
brutal. It's
That's funny.
brutal. So, yeah. So Foreigner is retiring, as is Lou Graham. Which, if you want to go see Foreigner, you might as well just go see Lou Graham in the All Stars.
So can Lou Graham sing all the old songs then?
Yeah, you can sing them. You can sing any song in concert.
Okay.
If you're recording it though, that's
Right.
different.
But like, does he not have the rights to the songs or does the group have the rights? But I mean, he chose to leave in 2003, he walked away
Right.
from his own
Right.
band. So
So
you can't take those
he
songs
doesn't
with
have the
you.
right to record them,
Brutal.
but he can sing them in concert all he wants. As long as
Hmm.
he's not recording it. If there's an official recording of it, he can't do it.
Interesting. I didn't know that's how it was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I can go in concert all I want and sing, all the Beatles songs, all I want, and I wouldn't get in trouble. But as soon as there's a recording, that's it.
That's fair.
And it's not a recording from somebody's phone,
Right. It's an
it has to
official.
be like an actual recording.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, you could come and sing all the John Lennon songs that your little heart desires in concert,
Yeah.
or we
Yeah.
can just listen to it on record or download it realistically.
That's why YouTube they catch a lot of heat from people doing songs.
Right.
Technically, YouTubers cannot sing other people's songs.
I mean, that makes sense because especially if they're monetized for it.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you get like 20 views, but if a million people see it and you're
Yeah.
monetized
And
because of
you're
it.
probably not going to get in trouble by most singers because they think it's nice that somebody else is doing their music. But
Right.
it's when you get like companies like Sony that buy the rights to say
Mm-hmm.
Queen,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do a Queen song. If they once they find it, they're coming after you.
I was gonna say it's probably someone like what's Buddy from Metallica, James something Hetfield. He would
Oh
be the
yeah,
one complaining about it. Remember the Napster issue, but way back in the day?
yeah. I mean that was just the beginning of all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
They
mean,
only knew.
yeah,
I loved
yeah,
Napster back in the day.
yeah.
Casa,
It was really good.
LimeWire, so good.
I used to use LimeWire.
Mm-hmm, me too. And you'd wait all day for that song to get downloaded, and you're like, please don't crash my computer. Please don't be porn.
Yeah, right. You had to worry about all that.
Mm-hmm. You
Right.
did.
I had like every song known to mankind.
Totally. So good. The big old computers, they could handle it back then.
Oh yeah, that's right. So.
All right. Like, let's transition here into this legend behind me. John Lennon. Which way? I'm backwards here. John Lennon. So the reason I wanted to do John Lennon today is because on this day, where is it? No, it doesn't work when we're like here. Right here? There we go. On this day in 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono are married in Gibraltar. Seems like an odd place to get married, but okay. That's like Gibraltar, like
Maybe it
Jordan or
was
Lebanon or
maybe it
Syria.
was symbolism, the Rock of Gibraltar.
Well,
They're married like
exactly.
a rock.
Yeah, I suppose, hey. It's the Bay of
That's
Gibraltar next to the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, maybe it's beautiful. Like maybe that's why they chose to. And it says it's part of the British Isles here. Or sorry, British territory, Gibraltar. So maybe
yeah,
it's just easy to get to. But
maybe.
I thought, what a better thing to do than talk about some little known John Lennon facts. Some of these are weird. I'm
Absolutely.
not going to lie. Some of them are weird. Some of them are random. Again, I didn't make these up. I'm reading from a list here. So, did you know that John Lennon was raised by his Aunt Mimi, who actually did not encourage him to play the guitar? She often told him that the guitar's all very well, John, but you'll never make a living out of it.
That's funny.
Where are you now, Aunt Mimi?
Boy, was she wrong.
Boy, what an idiot. Strawberry Field, the inspiration behind the Beatles hit Strawberry Fields Forever, great song. You feel like you're high as a kite when you're listening to that song. Anyway, it was the Salvation Army Children's Home in Liverpool where John Lennon grew up. As a child, he played on the home's grounds with his friends, enjoyed the Salvation Army's band playing at their annual summer garden party. So it literally was like a little garden nearby his home.
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
that. That's cool.
I did. When I was in high school, we had a music teacher, and he was obsessed with the Beatles.
No way.
We literally studied the Beatles from day one to the last day of the school year.
No way.
That's all we did was Beatles.
I mean, they had such a diverse range of music. Like, why not?
Oh, absolutely. So we talked about everything that whole year. It was actually a pretty awesome class.
Did he love the solo careers as well?
Yeah. But back then it wasn't really that long.
Right. That's fair.
It's only like a decade.
That's fair. Yeah, I got that. Dare I say, I almost prefer Wings to the Beatles. I don't know. I know. Becky, turn off the computer. Ron's pissed.
No, because I look, Paul McCartney is pretty awesome. So
Yes, he is.
His
music was
and I
cool.
still
I
think
don't know.
if John wasn't killed, I think Paul and John would have probably gotten
Reconnected,
back together
yeah.
for at least an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
With Ringo, probably not George, but
And George was
I think
off
they
in
would
his
have
own
run
little drug space. All right. Did you know that John Lennon was legally blind without the use of his glasses?
I did not know that.
He was also dyslexic. It's crazy when you hear about these brilliant minds with these challenges, like Beethoven. He's deaf, yet he wrote these insane symphonies and stuff like that. Like John Lennon's dyslexic. How did he write this music? And he was, blind without his glasses.
Yeah, I didn't know he
It's
was
wild.
blind. I thought it was just a fashion thing.
I mean, legally blind. So I'm sure he still had some vision, but it was probably like real tiny.
Wow, that's impressive.
I know.
That's impressive.
Here's a weird fact. I don't know why this is in here. I know this is a PG show, but not today. When John Lennon was a boy, a friend challenged him to masturbate 10 times in one day. Lennon fell just one time short. Good for you, John Lennon. Good for you. Good for whoever.
9 times,
learned
apparently, right?
Good for him.
How does... you got to question your friend at that point.
It does seem like an odd thing to ask your friend to do. But what do I know?
If I had a friend that said, "Oh, I bet you can't masturbate 10 times,"
I'd be like, "Cool, you're right." Obviously.
Why do you want me to?
Yeah, literally. Do you want to be there too? Yeah, it was weird. I thought it was a weird fact. There's also another weird fact in here too. Yeah. Anyway, in more wholesome facts, the Beatles producer George Martin said that John Lennon had an intense dislike of his own voice and that he would continuously ask for additional effects to be added to alter his voice on the final recordings.
Isn't that crazy?
It's probably why in a lot of the music he sounds like like there is something over top of it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like I wonder.
I mean, he was so creative, and it's like, could you imagine, just if he just didn't critique everything?
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, we don't know. Could the music have been so bland that
Right.
it wouldn't have been impactful? But
Who
the
knows?
creativity kind of goes to another level, and they were
Mhm.
always ahead of their time.
Exactly.
I mean, they're the first heavy metalists, to be honest with you. Helter Skelter? I mean, come on.
Mhm. That's a great song.
Yeah.
This is a cute little one. John Lennon loved to play Monopoly.
Really?
Yeah. It said he was up to play it any chance he got, with his primary goal to have control of Boardwalk and Park Place, even if he was to ultimately lose the game. As long as he had Park Place and Boardwalk, he was a happy guy.
Okay.
Wholesome.
I did not know that either.
I love it.
That's pretty cool. He's a board gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a
Hence all the
gamer.
games on the
Exactly.
shelves.
Exactly. Would love it. This one's interesting. In 1965, Lennon and the other Beatles were made members of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire of Queen Elizabeth II. However, Lennon returned his medal in 1969, stating, "Your Majesty, I am returning my MBE, so Most Excellent British Empire, as a protest against Britain's involvement in the Nigeria Biafra thing, against our support of America in Vietnam, and against cold turkey slipping down the charts. With love, John Lennon."
Wow.
Yeah. I
Wow. I
mean, the
knew
guy the guy
he
had some
got it. I didn't know he
convictions.
gave it back.
The guy had some convictions, that's for sure.
He did.
Yeah.
He voiced his opinion.
Mhm.
You
He
got to
did.
give him that.
Mhm.
And he might have been right on a lot of those things.
Well, really, like for the most part, most of us don't need to be involved in any other country's business, right?
Right.
Like all of these wars, but okay, this one kind of puts a dark cloud over everything though. Although he was famous for, peace and love and like all this behind me, stay in bed, fight, whatever. Uh, he actually had a violent temper, especially when it came to his first wife, Cynthia. He has often admitted physically abusing her, telling Playboy in a 1980 interview, "I used to be cruel to my woman and physically any woman. I was a hitter. I couldn't express myself and I hit. I fought men. I hit women. This is why I'm always on about peace. You see, it's the most violent people who go for love and peace." So, I can
That's an
imagine being
interesting one.
his ex-wife being like, "Oh, really? You're in bed protesting peace. Meanwhile, you just beat the crap out of me before we divorced."
Yeah.
It's
It's a
interesting, eh?
little,
Dark cloud, I know.
yeah.
This one also, it says his temper was so violent and it also extended to men, not just women. He once severely beat a friend and DJ, Bob Wooler, for insinuating that he was gay. He said he was poking fun at John Lennon's relationship with Beatles manager Brian Epstein, who was in fact gay. John Lennon threw Wooler to the ground, kicked him repeatedly. Wooler had to be rushed to the hospital after. I
Wow.
guess he wasn't gay or
Well,
like heavily
usually when
closeted.
they lash out like that,
It's because they are. Yes. I mean, it was the 60s,
and he
a
did
lot of
masturbate in front of his
drugs.
friend
Oh
9 times.
my gosh, yes. Yeah, maybe he liked it. I don't know.
So you got to tie the two together, right?
Yep,
There's a
exactly.
history.
Yeah, gross. Gross. All right, 1967, John Lennon bought the Dornish Island off the coast of Ireland. He soon invited a group of hippies to establish a commune there, and which actually thrived for 2 years. At that point, a fire destroyed many of the supplies, unfortunately. After his death, Yoko Ono sold the island. That'd be cool, just to have so much money that you can just buy an
Hey,
island.
oh man, I want my own island.
Right? Just have a hippie commune on it. It'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that's what I never did. Oh, I forgot to do the Cascadia thing again. I got to do that Saturday.
What's that? What's that?
Uh,
Oh, what is it?
I can't say it because then it'll ruin it. So
Okay.
I'll do it Saturday. I'll do it Saturday.
Okay.
I forgot all about it. I should have done it today.
Okay, amazing. I'm excited. So it starts to get weirder after these ones here. So part of John Lennon and Yoko Ono's initial meeting and courtship was his participation in her conceptual art event called 13 Days Do-It-Yourself Dance Festival. Participants received 13 consecutive daily postcards with bizarre instructions like, go find a clover and send us measurements, and swim in your dreams as far as you can until you find an island. So, like, clearly these two were on some drugs. Clearly. Go find a
I
clover
think she
and
might have
measure
been
it.
a little tapped without the drugs too.
I think so. But this is the weird one. Okay, I read this and I was like, we're done for today. The most controversial among the many bizarre art films that Lennon made with Yoko Ono was titled Self-Portrait, a 15-minute slow motion shot of John Lennon's penis going from flaccid to erect. For 15
I heard about
minutes.
that.
Why
I heard
did you
about
do
that
that?
one.
That's weird. That's not art. That's porn. That's weird.
Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. There's all these things are tied in, right? Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
It's so
I don't
strange.
care if it was. I don't really care. I just love this music,
Yeah,
and that's how he's always going to be remembered.
for sure.
But nobody wants that stuck in their head.
No, absolutely not. No. He was also a terrible driver to, get away from that image.
Well, he's legally blind, so I would think
literally.
he would have been.
He only got his license at the age of 25, and then he crashed his infamous psychedelic Rolls Royce. 2 years later, he injured himself, Yoko Ono, and each of their children. After that, he gave up driving for good. So eventually, he gave up the Rolls Royce in order to settle a $250,000 tax bill. After his death, though, that car sold at auction for $2.3 million, making it the most expensive car sold in history at that time.
Wow.
Wild.
Wow.
He was the only Beatle to not become a vegetarian. That's interesting. George Harrison and Paul McCartney adopted vegetarianism for philosophical reasons. Ringo took it up because of health concerns. Lennon, however, retained a meat eater his entire life. And I expected him to be the vegetarian.
You would think
guy.
That would have been the opposite, right?
Yeah, I am shocked by that.
Yeah.
This one's sad. April 24, 1976 was the final time that John Lennon and Paul McCartney ever saw each other. So 4 years before his death, 4.5 years. Hanging out in John Lennon's New York apartment, they watched Saturday Night Live together. They saw Lorne Michaels joking to pay $3,000 for the Beatles to appear on the show. Lennon and McCartney almost took a cab to the set to do it. Hey, why not?
Yeah, I knew that one. There was a lot of talk that meeting they were going to discuss getting back together.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of talk of that, and it just never came to.
It just never happened. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that was 1976. It says after spending the 5 years between 75 and 80 retired from music, Lennon was compelled to make music again after hearing Paul McCartney's 1980 single Coming Up, realizing that he actually liked it and he better get recording again himself. Now, as we know, he did die in 1980. He was only 40 years old. Can you imagine the life he would have lived if he made it to 70, 80 years old?
Think of the impact in music alone that he did by the age of 40.
Literally.
I mean, that is a lifetime for some music artists.
Absolutely.
And only 40 years old, which is absolutely horrendous that we lost.
I know. It's crazy. I know. There's a photo of John, and I wish you guys could see it. You can kind of hear where he's looking down. You see him there?
Yeah.
It says this photograph was taken before him just 5 hours before he was murdered by Mark David Chapman on December 8th, 1980. The image actually shows John Lennon signing a copy of the album for Mark David Chapman. So that guy came, hey, sign my album, whatever. He was waiting outside of his fence to get into his apartment building. And then he came back out later and he was still there and he shot him. I know, it's heartbreaking.
I remember seeing the video of it. You know,
sad. Heartbreak.
It is.
It's like, it's one of those celebrity deaths that really touches you, you know?
Yeah.
Like anytime a celebrity dies, it's like, oh, dang. But like, I don't know that one. I mean, I wasn't even born, but like, you know,
that one hurt.
I'm a bit of a history buff.
That was like my Elvis.
Right.
When Elvis died, it sent the world in
tailspin.
Yeah.
And then 3 short years later, John Lennon.
Yeah, that was the one for me because, you know, I was already old enough, you know, I was 14. And I just did this whole extensive, you know, Beatles thing.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of years before that.
Right, in school, yeah, of course.
It was devastating.
Totally.
It was devastating because you just think that was the one, right? I mean, the country's barely reeling from Elvis.
Literally,
you know, they're just recovering because there was a couple of years at least of mourning for Elvis.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then this happens, and it's like, whoa, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And that was the one for me way back. And then after that, there wasn't one until Robin Williams.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
And Prince for me. That was it. Yeah. Those are the two after.
You know who it was for me? Tom Petty. That was a tough one. I had just seen him.
Tom Petty. I grew up taking the bus to school, listening to Tom Petty and Led Zeppelin, all this classic rock stuff. And Tom Petty was always on the radio. Always. I mean, you look at any movies made in the 80s and 90s, it features his music.
Literally. All of them. I know. So good.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I love Tom Petty. All right. Well, to finish up this one about John Lennon, it just says that Yoko Ono kept his death intensely private, which I'm shocked about because they seem to like the limelight. But she held no funeral and she scattered his ashes at an undisclosed location. Most people think that it's somewhere in Central Park, New York City. So sad. Way to darken the mood, Becky.
Oh.
Go back to women killing their husbands in Alberta.
Really. At least story. That was funny.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is what it is, you know. It sucks. I mean, it's been, 45 years, almost 45 years since he died. But, I mean, the impact it still holds, right?
It's hard to believe it's that long ago.
Crazy. I know.
I spent all morning listening to that music today.
Right. Okay, well, let's pick up our spirits here. Let's talk about Landman, that TV show.
Yeah, I'll do this really quick because we are running out of time.
Oh, I know who he's adding here.
I love this picture, by the way.
Totally. It looks just like him.
It does. Like, you know who that is. You know who it is.
I can hear it.
So Landman is getting ready for season 2, and they have brought in Sam Elliott as a new cast member for season 2. I saw the first season was fantastic. What a great show.
Billy Bob Thornton, right?
Billy Bob Thornton plays Tommy Norris, an oil fixer.
Okay.
So it also has Demi Moore and John Hamm in season 1.
Really?
Speculation is John Hamm is not returning because his character was near death at the end. Not to spoil it on anybody.
Okay.
We'll just say that we don't know if he's coming back or not. I hope he does because he was also fantastic in this, and I think he would want to do it. I think it's just if they want to pay him. That's
Right.
all it is. If they want to pay him. So so Sam Elliott will be on there. He is a Western legend.
Literally. I'm shocked he was
Um,
never on Yellowstone. He
I can't
screams
believe it
Yellowstone.
either. I can't
He
believe it either.
screams
That's a
it.
big mistake.
But I guess he
Big
was on
mistake.
that show with Ashton Kutcher and that rapist. What was his name? Masterson, Danny Masterson. He was on
Yeah,
that show with them.
yeah.
The
That
Ranch, I believe
70s
it was
show.
called. No, The Ranch.
But the guy that you're talking about was, on that 70s show with him.
Oh,
Danny
yes, I
Masterson.
do know
Yeah,
that. Yes.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that guy's a piece of work too. But
They all are.
Sam Elliott,
Hollywood.
I'm looking forward to it. It makes me crave to see it again real soon. Hopefully, it's not too long. Um, Look, I just got done watching a whole bunch of series,
Yeah.
and I'm all caught up with Reacher, fantastic series. That
Oh,
is
yeah. My
so good.
husband's watching that. Yeah.
Fire Country, I like that
Oh, Fire
series as
Country.
well.
It's about
Uh,
firefighters, right?
yeah. Daredevil, I've seen like the first
Oh,
3 episodes. Daredevil's pretty good, you know.
and he's blind, right?
Um, what was that?
He's blind, right?
Yes, yes.
So weird.
So a great show. And I watched the first season of School Spirits.
What's that?
It's the girl
Cheerleading?
that plays Tori on Cobra Kai, the blonde girl.
Okay.
It's actually really well written
Interesting.
series.
Okay.
It's
School
about a high
spirit.
school kid that apparently gets murdered. And so they
Oh.
have all the ghosts that of all the people that are there, and they're trying to
Oh.
figure out how to cross over, and they haven't
Interesting.
figured it out, and so she's trying to solve her own murder.
Whoa. That's an interesting concept.
So it was very well written. Yes, it's high school.
Like it
You
sounds
know,
cheese, but I mean, if I trust your opinion on these things,
it's
so
pretty good. It's got a pretty good script. I think the cast does a really good job of not making it cheesy. To be
interesting.
honest with you, I
School
think they did a good job.
spirits. Oh, it's got 2
School
seasons
Spirit.
already. I had no idea. School spirit. Okay, yeah, I recognize that girl with the blonde hair.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Interesting. Is she?
Pretty good.
Okay,
She
we may have to watch
actually, I
it.
think she's like co-producer or something as well.
No way.
Yeah, so
Cool.
she's, she does more than just act. She does more.
Multi-talented. Cool. Good for
So,
her. Okay, so we definitely have to watch
so
School Spirits and Landman.
yeah, I think you'd like it. And of course, I started House again.
Right. You were inspired by Martin.
Yeah, I was. What I will be watching though, I'm going to be checking out Long Bright River and Adolescence.
My friend started watching Adolescence. So we turned it on, my daughter and I, and it was like F-bombs immediately. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to watch this
Yeah,
with you. And
it's
then
supposed to be brutal.
then my friend told me it was about like murdering of children. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe not the best thing to watch with my 14-year-old.
No, probably not.
So
Probably not. Better
So we
watch
turned it
School
off.
Spirits. That's really good. That's great for
Okay.
kids.
okay. We will for sure. And I'm excited to see Landman. I think it'll be good. My husband and I are looking for a good show.
It's so good. I already covered all these shows, but On Call, oh my God,
Mhm.
there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
You just got to find them. And, most of them are 6 to 10 episodes
Right.
of these series now. And it's perfect,
Mhm.
because they're not investing too much in a
Right.
series. And if it fails, but like On Call ended where if they don't bring it back, okay, at
Right.
least there's an ending to it.
Some closure. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
All right.
I always know if I want to find a show, talk to Ron. Ron has the show hookups. He knows all the shows.
Yeah, I try to watch as much as possible to see if something I can't get through, then I can't get through it.
Yeah, they cross it
Like
off.
I couldn't get through Shogun because I
What
didn't
is
want to
Shogun?
read all the subtitles.
Oh, right. Yes, the Japanese one.
Yeah,
That's fair. All right. Well, how about these? These are movies. I'm sure you've seen most of them. This is why I was saving these ones for you. I actually had this one picked out prior to going to Vegas, but I thought, no, let's save it till we get back so that you and I can go through it. I mean, not that the other guys don't know movies, but I know that you know your movies.
yeah, I've
So
pretty much seen a
this
lot.
continues yesterday. Yes, this continues yesterday's movies with the same plot. So we had things like It's a Wonderful Life and Click, Prince of Egypt and Thor. So we'll see if some of these ring true for you. So the next one is Point Break and The Fast and the Furious.
Ooh, I never really thought of putting them together as a plot. I'm trying to think,
Well, it says
I
one's about
mean,
fast cars, one's about fast surfers. Okay.
yeah,
They both
yeah,
track an undercover FBI agent infiltrating a group of sportsmen for criminal activity. Both agents
yeah.
fall in love with waitresses affiliated with the criminals. Both
See,
films even feature scenes in which the agent and head
once
criminal
you read it
bond
off,
over the beach.
then it all
Mhm,
makes sense,
mhm.
right? It's like
Yep.
you look at it, it's like, well, how is this? They're bank robbers, and it's like didn't get there until you start reading off
Mhm.
the facts of how they connect it.
Well, it says like the agent and the head criminal bond over shrimp at the beach. Like that's very specific. Like it couldn't have been any other food in the entire world. We all had to go with shrimp.
Right.
And then, of course, it says both films feature actors who died tragically. Patrick Swayze of pancreatic
Ugh,
cancer, and then Paul Walker in a fatal car accident. I mean, that's kind of an aside. That has nothing to do with the plot. But even like the picture they have of the guys here, like Patrick Swayze with his blonde, shaggy hair, Paul Walker with his blonde, shaggy hair, it's very reminiscent of one another. So I think of all the ones
yeah.
we've heard about,
And
next
the
to Click,
impact
and
they
it's a
made in the industry.
true, very true. I don't know.
Kind of crazy.
I think that one's kind of dead on. I think they
Yeah,
nailed it with
pretty
that one.
much.
Okay, here's another one. Dances with Wolves. Remember that movie?
Ugh, that was so boring.
And Avatar. What do you think? What do you
Ooh.
think?
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, but in fairness, Avatar was written like 20 years before that. But he
Hmm.
didn't do the movie because he had to wait for the technology to
Of
get better to
course.
do it.
Wow. He's lucky he is alive still to have created
Yeah,
that,
really, right?
you know? I actually really liked Avatar. I do not remember Dances with Wolves. I remember having to see it as a
Avatar
child and
was
hating it.
was spectacular.
Yes.
Dances with Wolves, the story is nice, but it was boring.
Yeah, boring. Well, it says in both movies, the leading men leave their own worlds behind for new worlds. Both of them have
Yep.
leg injuries. Both assimilate with the native peoples, fall in love, eventually go to battle.
Yeah,
So, I mean, like, kind of the same.
it is. It is.
Okay,
I
this one
can see
is
that.
silly. Top Gun and Days of Thunder. Same
Well,
actor.
isn't that his own movie? So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It says
both are
everyone is
unwatchable.
saying that Days of Thunder is actually just Top Gun 2.
Yeah, in a car instead of a jet.
Yes, pretty
That
much.
I
It's
agree with.
yeah, it says same director and producers telling another story about a reckless young man trying to escape from the shadow of his father
Yeah.
who
Yep.
releases his rage by helming a huge machine, this time, trading in planes for sports cars. Both men also fall in love with a woman who doesn't put up with his garbage, who are against a more level-headed antagonist. Yeah, it's kind of the exact same,
It is the
actually,
same movie.
but with the
It's
same
the
actor.
same guy that made the movie,
Yeah.
so it makes sense. It all makes sense. That is the same movie. Hey, let's do Top Gun, but only with cars.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they did.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're like, awesome, great movie.
No,
You know, no,
no.
it wasn't well received in 1990.
Oh,
I bet it was. Yeah.
back then, yeah, but I hated that movie. Top Gun, I love Top Gun when it first came out. It is unwatchable
You hate
now.
it now,
I
yeah.
can't.
It's cheese,
I can't.
right?
Oh, it's
That's
awful.
fair. Okay, here's another one. Terminator 2 and Looper. Remember Looper with Bruce Willis and
Yeah.
Martin or Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Why is it that most of these comparisons, there's always one movie that's really good and one movie that isn't?
I don't know. Because the copycat is never
good.
It's never good. I don't know. It says we're thrown into a future where mobsters can send targets back into the past to be killed by a hitman.
Yep.
One such hitman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is eventually tasked with killing his future self. Similarly, in Terminator 2, John Connor, Michael Edwards, is targeted by future Terminator and protected by one from the past. The character of Joe in Looper ends up aligned with both John Connor and the two versions of the Terminator as well. So, I mean, yeah, kind of similar.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah, very.
But the only problem was Terminator 2 was a massive hit and Looper was not.
Right. That's fair. Okay, I'll do one more here. There was a couple more, but I'll do this last one. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Fantastic movie.
Yep.
And iRobot. Okay, let's think about this.
Really?
Yep. All right. So let's see what it says. I mean, they came out 30 years apart. Obviously one was a cartoon. Well, partly a cartoon. One was not. It says that they share some common threads, though. They both take place in a world which humans and non-humans coexist. One where the detective protagonist doesn't trust the non-humans while being thrown into an investigation that involves them. Eventually, the sinister plot is found to have been orchestrated by one such non-human in order to throw the rest of them under the bus.
I keep seeing Yoko Ono, and it's kind of weird.
Cover her up.
There we go. I can't believe how similar those are.
Right?
Wow.
I know when you hear it, then it makes sense. Like at first you're
crazy.
Like, no, there's no way. But some of them, obviously Days of Thunder and Top Gun, right away, you're like, obviously.
Yeah, that was a plan. Oh, we're
yes.
going to make this movie instead of using planes,
Exactly.
That is, but wow.
Here, I'll change it here. How's that? Better?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, interesting. Hey, like almost the exact same plot.
It is. That's crazy. I would never have put those two movies together.
Yeah.
Like this, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
The other ones I didn't read. I won't go into it, but No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits. Obviously, that sounds the exact same.
Well, most of those romance things.
Yeah. Friends that don't want to date but then fall in love with each other. That's like all romance movies.
That's in every one of them.
Yeah, literally. Another one is
when Harry Met Sally was they even discussed that.
Exactly. Exactly. Rear Window and Disturbia. I didn't know what Rear Window was, so
Rear Window was awesome.
Okay, well apparently it's just like Disturbia. Rio Bravo and the Assault on Precinct 13. Again, I haven't seen these. Phantom of the Paradise and what? Sorry,
Rio Bravo's John Wayne.
Yes, it is. And Assault on Precinct 13, I guess.
That was a great movie. I love that movie.
Well, apparently they have the same plot. Another one, Phantom of the Paradise and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Didn't do that one. Hidden Fortress and Star Wars. Again, movies I hadn't seen.
See, Hugo, Hidden Fortress, not Lord of the Rings.
Why was he talking about that? Oh, he said Lord of the Rings.
And Lord of the Rings are the same.
Interesting. Well, anyway, I thought it was a pretty cool list. I knew you would appreciate it.
That is pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that last one, the Roger Rabbit one, is crazy.
Roger Rabbit and iRobot.
Yeah, no.
Forever.
Yes. Well, let's get to your top 5.
Yeah, we'll try to go through this as best as possible, as fast as possible.
That's okay, whatever.
Break yesterday's record.
Maybe. We just have so much to
So
talk about.
I had a very difficult time trying to figure out what I wanted to do. It was Holly Hunter's birthday,
Okay.
so I was going to do Holly Hunter. And I was like, I don't like a lot of those movies. I like
Yeah.
Holly Hunter,
Hmm.
but
I don't like the
you
way
know.
she talks. It bothers me.
And then I noticed that it was William Hurt, his
Oh, okay.
birthday today. So
Nice.
happy birthday, both of you. So I went with William Hurt, who has been in a boatload of movies.
Hmm.
Kiss of the Spider Woman, Children of the Lesser God, The Accidental Tourist, Trial by Jury, The Good Shepherd, Black Widow,
Hmm.
Into the Wild, Dark City, Lost in Space,
Into the
Michael,
Wild. Interesting.
Altered States, Gorky
Michael was that
Pop.
one about an angel, right? With John
Yes,
Travolta?
with
Okay.
John Travolta. Yeah.
Right.
Body Heat, Alice, The Plague, Syriana with George Clooney, who
Oh.
is just a notch higher on the most overrated actor ever than Tom
Agreed.
Cruise.
Yes.
So all those movies, Avengers
Hmm.
Endgame as well.
Interesting.
All of those not on my list.
Okay.
Not on the list. So what is on this list? Honorable mentions The Village, which
Oh,
was
I
a
love that
great
movie.
movie
M.
until
Night
the last
Shyamalan?
until the last 10 minutes. Like I say,
And you're like,
if you
huh?
if you go see an M. Night Shyamalan movie
Hmm.
where you think it's going to end, that's when you walk out.
Right.
Because it always goes another 10 minutes that it didn't need to do. And it
As they
ruins the
do.
whole movie.
Yes.
Like The
Yep.
Happening,
Yep.
same thing. Village was the same thing. It ended, but nope, he keeps it going for
Hmm.
another ending. And if he just stopped there, it would
Oh,
be
it
a
would have
great
been
movie.
good. I just
It would
remember
be a
the
great
end was weird. I don't remember specifically what it was, but
Yeah.
I remember being like,
Yeah.
huh? I liked it though. I like M. Night Shyamalan. I think his stuff is weird, but I
Right.
dig it.
He just goes a little 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Stop. If his movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, just stay for the 2 hours. That's
Hmm.
it.
Right.
The last 10 minutes are going to ruin the movie.
Hmm.
All right, so broadcast news, honorable mention. Ira's probably upset about that. I got a feeling that he's going to be upset about that one.
Yeah.
So, Star Wars and something. Oh, he's still talking about the other thing. The Big Chill, honorable mention.
Big Chill. Okay.
Like, these were all like hyped up movies and stuff like
Okay.
that. They were good.
Not that good. They didn't make the list.
Right. Mr. Brooks with Kevin Costner plays
yeah.
the bad guy.
Yeah.
That was really good. That was good. This is where the movie's okay. Now we're for real.
Right.
Mr. Brooks was good. The Bubble movie that was number
Bubble
6
movie.
on the list, Robin Hood.
Okay. What was he in Robin Hood?
I think he played Will.
Will.
I can't remember the character name.
Okay, I need to look this up. Like
One of
Robin Hood, like the one with Kevin Costner?
Yes. Wait, no. The one with Russell Crowe.
Oh, okay. That's why I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you're
That one was
right.
pretty good. So was I like the one with Kevin Costner too,
Oh,
by the way.
so good.
Prince of Thieves.
Yes.
I like that one better.
So good.
But this Robin Hood was pretty good.
I like Russell Crowe, so I could see it being a good one.
All right, number 5 made the list and probably nobody saw it. Vantage Point.
Vantage.
He actually plays the president in that movie,
Oh, interesting.
and it shows like an 8 to 10 minute section of time for the different characters, and then once they show all those parts of the movies by the character, then they let it play out the whole rest of the way to finish the story. It was really creative, and I loved it because it really lets you see what the event is at different angles
That's
of
cool.
the story. It was really good.
Yeah, I'm looking it up
Loved
here.
it.
Forrest Whitaker, Matthew Fox, Dennis Quaid.
Yes.
I mean, Sigourney Weaver. That's a huge cast.
It was such a great cast. I love it. I love it. I think the movie was spectacular.
I think I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, you should. You should. You just gotta know that there's going to be like the first half of the movie is going to be you're going to see the same basic thing,
From different vantage
but it's
points.
from different angles and different parts
like
of the
that.
story.
That's
So,
cool.
and then it all ties in. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Number 4, I have a history of violence. Not me.
Hmm.
I don't have the history of violence. But the movie is number 4, Viggo Mortensen,
Right.
post Lord of the Rings, and
History of
it
violence,
was
yes.
pretty good. It was like it wasn't like this big action packed movie,
Hmm.
but the story and the plot is pretty awesome, and
Right.
it really holds up the story.
Another huge cast as well. It also sounds like William Hurt had a history of violence himself, as I was reading just now about him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, some allegations. Just a few allegations.
Yeah, just allegations, right? Number 3, I have Changing Lanes with Ben Affleck
Yep.
and Samuel L.
Right.
That was such a great movie. Oh my God.
I love Ben Affleck.
He's so underrated.
He really is. People give him a hard time because he's, I don't know, been with J-Lo twice.
Yeah, that's probably why.
And like, I don't know, he just seems like he's angry all the time, but like, man, he's such a good actor.
Yeah. What was it? The Town. Oh my God, that movie was so good.
Yes.
Number 2, Avengers Infinity War, where he plays Thunderbolt. Thaddeus Thunderbolt. As Wait, I didn't put it. I thought I put it up there. Oh, I didn't even change the thing. Oh, no, I was like, wait, where is he? There he is.
Okay. This is Thaddeus Thunderbolt. Okay. Obviously, I haven't seen Marvel movies, so I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, because he was in it, I mean, he didn't have a big role or anything.
You liked the role he had.
The movie itself was fantastic.
Was it?
Yeah, Infinity War. Gotta remember, that's the second one, I believe.
Okay.
And then number 1, Captain America Civil War, which was absolutely fantastic. That was my favorite of all the Captain America.
Did he also play Thaddeus Thunderbolt?
Played the same character.
Okay, that's cool.
So in essence, I could put those movies clumped as one and then move up Robin Hood, but I chose not to do that.
That's fair.
Because then I would have to include Avengers Endgame, and I really hated that. Well, I didn't hate the movie. It was a good movie, but I hated the fact that they forced some certain things on us in that movie. Like when they single out all the female characters to fight. I think that's just stupid.
The guys are just sitting there with popcorn. All the girls are like,
right.
I need to watch this. I have no idea.
So that's why I separated those two, because I couldn't put Avengers Endgame anywhere near my top 5.
Of course, yes.
So yeah,
I love it. Well, that's a decent list.
Marvel, the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not super.
List.
I'm not super familiar with William Hurt, so to me, I'm like, okay, cool, great movies.
Well, he was really big back like in the 80s.
Yeah.
More so character roles now. I think he just wanted to be part of Marvel, so he took on that role.
Cool.
I mean, that's why I was like, it's not really great. Like, nobody knows who William Hurt is out of.
I had to look it up for sure.
20s and 30s, right? But those movies are relevant,
right?
And that's why I did it, and because I like these movies are pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
well, I love it.
Here we go.
There we go. Okay, well, great show today. We are a little over as we do, whatever. It is what it is. One day we'll get it under an hour.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
It'll be a show where I'm not on it, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Join us on Saturday when you are back with Mr. Kenny, who has taken the day off today.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
come
vacation.
back. Yeah, vacation, right. And then come back next week when we have, I don't even know. You said it. Martin and Ron, you
Yep.
guys the Monday. Me and you
Yep.
again Tuesday. Kenny and you. Oh my God, you're on every day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Ira's out of town.
Yeah. Ira's
Okay.
moving. He's
Oh,
moving.
he's moving. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, we
So-
will just put it out there to anybody who wants to be a part of our show.
Absolutely.
We are looking for one more host just to take even one shift a week.
Yeah.
10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Central.
Yeah, it's too bad. We had a bunch of people that were doing some shows, and unfortunately,
Life gets busy. It is what
Yeah.
it is, I guess. But yeah, if you are interested in joining our show, send Ron a message, send Rhode Island Broadcasting on Facebook a message. Anywhere that you follow us, send a message. Ron will get it. Hopefully, we will see you soon. And come back Saturday for another great show.
absolutely. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.